everyone, welcome back to the Toal Tribe channel. It is early. I need coffee. I am filming before 9 a.m. today, which is insane. I don't usually do that, but today's a busy day and I definitely want to make sure I get some content filmed, edited, and ready for you guys. I'm trying to be good about my New Year's resolution. I think last week we did only put up one video, which is totally my bad. But like I've mentioned here before on this channel, I live for hearing from you guys, whether that be in the comments down below or when you send me a direct message on Instagram. Like, I love when you guys write to me. Sometimes you're letting me know that you relate to the content, you're sharing your story. I occasionally get people asking for advice, and honestly, when that happens, I am flattered, because while I've been in the world of infertility for about 4 years now, I am by no means an expert on anything infertility, and I'm also by no means an expert on anything adoption related, even though we've been on this journey for the last almost year. And I'm just flattered that you trust me enough to give you advice on things that are so personal and really such sensitive topics. So thank you guys. But recently somebody wrote to me and she had shared that her and her husband have been on this path of infertility for the last like 15 months, and it's been really hard. And she asked, what are things that we do to keep our spirits up while we wait for baby, whether that be in an infertility journey or our adoption journey? And then I thought, what a great idea for a video, because I'm sure there are actually a lot of people that are wondering the same thing, or that are trying to find their happy in a time when things seem really, really dark, or that you don't have a lot of faith, or just that there's just so much out of your control. And how do you bring back some happiness into your own life while you wait? Because you do want to have hope that it's going to happen. So you're just waiting for that moment when it does. And so I, in the last 4 years, have become pretty well versed in like what you can do while you wait. And I've made some mistakes in that waiting period, some things that maybe got us into a little bit of trouble. Hello, retail therapy. But I've also found a lot of things that really have helped myself and Mike while we kind of wait this out together. So for me, one of the most important things when you're on a journey to become a parent, whether that's through infertility treatments or whether it's adoption or other alternative paths to parenthood, it's really important for you to have faith that that day is going to come. That moment is going to come where you're finally a parent and you're gazing down at your child and your world is going to change forever. And you have to have faith that like that moment is going to come. And so for me, anything that helps me stay rooted in that mindset and that faith is really important to me. And for me, something that helps me stay rooted in that is buying little things for baby. And I was doing that long before we started our adoption journey. As soon as we decided that we were going to start trying to conceive, before we even knew we had infertility issues, I went to Carter's and I picked up, I think the first thing I ever bought, future baby Toal, was a pair of like fleecy, because it was winter, it was December, it was fleecy like pajamas with little koala bears on them, and I still have them, and they are actually washed and sitting upstairs in the nursery dresser ready to go. And that was the first thing I picked up, and I just remember feeling so much joy. And there was a time in our journey where that was actually really difficult for me to even look at baby things, and that was when we were trying to conceive before we knew we had fertility issues. It would be really painful because I just didn't understand what was going on, why it wasn't happening, and I was just in a really dark place. I thought it was just never going to happen. And that's what I mean by I think it's really important to stay rooted in that faith, because that other mindset is really dark and it can affect your relationship with your partner. It can affect your job. It can affect you in so many different ways. So like I said, it's really important to stay rooted in that positivity and that faith that that is going to happen. And again, for me, that's sneaking off to Target and buying a cute little gender neutral outfit that I can like stock away. The next thing that I think is important while you're waiting for your child is to just be in the moment with your partner and just enjoy that. Whether that is you going out to dinner and you just enjoying like being out together in that conversation, or it could just be sitting on the couch together, honestly watching a movie. Like, just take a moment to take a deep breath in, look around and reflect on that moment and that peace and that time with that person. Because we had a little peek into what parenthood was like when we were with the twins for the first few days of their life. And I mean, that was extra chaotic because there were two of them, but it was a lot, especially as new parents when you don't exactly know what you're doing. Those early days when you're sleep deprived and everything else, like it's going to be hard for you to be in the moment with your partner. Your partner might be aggravating to you at certain times, like everything might be aggravating to you when you're only running on a few hours of sleep. So I think when you don't have that in your life and you don't have that added pressure or extra, chaos, you really need to take the time to appreciate what it is that you do have with your partner. Those moments will get you through the harder ones later on. Number 3 is catch up with your friends. I think anybody who says like, oh, I'm still gonna see my friends and go out with my friends just as often after I have kids as I did when I didn't have any, like that's probably not true. And if you do, your outings with your friends are probably gonna be a lot different. All of my girlfriends that have children, I see less, I talk to less, I get it. They're pretty like busy handling their careers, their families, their babies and everything else. So I don't think it's unusual. So I think when you don't have that in your life, you really should make the time to really strengthen those relationships and just be with your girlfriends or your guy friends and hang out with them, have them over, entertain, like whatever, but just make that time to build those relationships so that they do stay intact after, your child comes, and it is a little bit harder to maintain them. Number 4, very important, date nights. Often and anytime you can have a date night, you should have one. So I remember early in our relationship, we had basically just started trying to conceive. There's a sushi restaurant that Mike and I really, really loved, and we loved to go to it during the week because I think on Mondays and Wednesdays they had like 30% off of like your sushi orders. So we would go, we'd order a bunch of sushi, we'd get a discount. It was great, and it was a nice like break in the middle of our week because we'd go on like a Monday night. And one time we were there and we ran into a couple who happened to be old neighbors of where Mike used to live. And they were a couple, maybe about 10 years older than us. They had 2 kids. So she's like, enjoy this, that you can just drop everything and run out on a Wednesday night. Because when you have kids, that becomes a lot more difficult. And I never forgot her saying that. And I think about that every time that we go out on a date without a child in tow. That's kind of nice, just being able to pick up and go. And I know that while we're gonna totally love being parents, that is something that we're going to miss. Number 5, vacations. Long ones, short ones, weekend getaways, staycations, like Caribbean trips, cruises, anything. Anything you can do it before your child comes. Again, this kind of just falls into the whole date night, enjoying every moment with your partner while you can, because it does get harder to travel when you have to also pack for a little tiny person and bring all of their stuff. It becomes a lot harder to like get on an airplane and just kind of jet set around. So if you can, while you can, I would say do it. I know that, when we were first diagnosed with unexplained infertility, we didn't know what the next step was for us. And we thought like, okay, so one of 2 things is gonna happen. We're either gonna start our infertility treatments or we're gonna explore an alternative path to parenthood like adoption. Those things are both expensive. They're both going to kind of require us to be rooted for a while. So like before we get started with that, like let's go out with a bang. So somewhere I had always wanted to go was Paris, France. And so Mike and I booked a trip to Paris, France. That was a big trip and it wasn't a cheap trip, but it was worth it. We probably will never go back to France again. It was like our one and only thing. And so we really lived it up and we enjoyed every single second of being there. And whenever we can, we try to take a little weekend trip somewhere. If we can both get the time off, we love like a staycation at like a hotel nearby in a nice, maybe historic downtown area, just exploring that even though it's around the corner. Like those moments are memories that you're gonna cherish forever, and they're stories that you get to tell your children. So this next one, number 6, got me in a little bit of trouble when we were going through our infertility struggles, and that was to buy yourself a present, do a little retail therapy. I got a little too set in the treat yourself mentality. Don't get caught up in that like I did. Maybe you and your spouse set a price limit for, a gift that each of you are gonna just get yourselves to kind of lift your spirits, or maybe you go in on a gift together. Who knows, maybe that gift together is a vacation for the 2 of you. Maybe you both wanted a new TV for the living room, so you splurge and you finally go in on that. I think that it's really easy to get caught up in the expenses associated with infertility and adoption. And while I think you do have to budget really tightly, a lot of people anyway, to make those parenting dreams happen, I think that it can get not only really depressing when you're going through those things and nothing's happening or you haven't had any success, and then on top of that, you're literally just never treating yourself because you're living on a shoestring budget. I think that can also be really depressing. Just don't go overboard and don't get like stuck in the treat yourself mindset like I did. But I definitely think it helps to treat yourself occasionally, and that's a quick little pick me up. So number 7 is to pick up a hobby and do it more. I think that doing things that you love to do that ignite some kind of fire, passion within you are really going to be the things that keep you positive and just really upbeat as you move through your journey. And for me, I really enjoy this YouTube channel. I really enjoy creating video content for you guys. I like brainstorming it, I like filming it. I don't love editing it so much, but I love putting it out there for you guys to share and relate to, and that evokes some kind of feeling of camaraderie between other people that are going through infertility and that are on their adoption journey, or either or. And that's something that I feel passionately about and that I really enjoy doing. So I love making these videos. And so that is my passion project while we wait. So number 8 is to keep a daily 3 joys journal. So somebody got me a journal for Christmas, and so I've only had it for a few weeks, less than a month. And I have to say, I am obsessed with it. It's life-changing for me. I've been doing it since like the day after I opened it. And basically, it's just this little booklet, and on the left-hand pages, there are all these like bright, colorful, pretty, positive, or like inspirational quotes. And then on the right-hand side, there are numbered lines for you to go through and write about 3 things that brought you some kind of joy that day. So whether it was what I call little joys or big joys, just 3 things that made you feel some kind of joy or spark some kind of joy in you that day. And I really enjoyed it. And honestly, it really makes me reflect on my day, because there are days, especially like this past week has been really, really difficult at work, where I sit and I do it at the end of the day, like right before I turn out the lights and go to bed. I sit and I reflect on my day. And there are days where I'm like, I came home from work. That's literally the only thing that brought me joy. But I have to like really think about other times that made me feel happy, even if it was just brief happiness, even if it was just a quick smile, like, well, what's something that made me feel happy today? And those little moments really help shift your mindset from today was a really bad day to like, today wasn't such a bad day. There were so many good moments sprinkled in. So I really enjoy keeping that journal. And you don't have to go buy a special book to do it. You can just pick up a little notebook. If you keep a planner, you could do it in there. If you already keep a journal, you could just bullet 3 in there and just write about the 3 things that brought you joy that day. So number 9 will keep you productive, and that's to complete projects around your house. It's pretty common knowledge that once a baby comes, it's harder to do just about everything because you want to focus your time and attention, and the baby's gonna demand that you focus your time and attention on them. And especially if you're working parents and you're out of the house Monday through Friday and the baby's at daycare or the baby's with a family member, the last thing you really want to do on Saturday and Sunday when you finally have family time is to work on really like time-consuming projects, right? So before baby comes is the perfect time to get those done. And I also think it'll just make you feel 100 times more prepared. Number 10 is the last item on the list, but probably the most important, and that's prayer. And I know that everybody's different. Some people are religious, some people are spiritual, some people believe in God but not organized religion, some people are agnostic. But I also think that regardless of what your beliefs are, there are a million different ways to pray. And I think that praying can and should look very different from one person to the next. For me, prayer is anything that brings you a feeling of inner peace and calmness and helps refocus you while also keeping you grounded in the things that you are grateful or appreciative for. That's prayer for me in a nutshell. So while I was raised Catholic and I kind of am non-practicing and I consider myself like a non-denominational Christian at this point, I pray to God because that's what brings me the most inner peace. And that's what makes me feel the most like recharged and focused and grounded in the things that I'm grateful for. But for my friends that are spiritual and believe in a higher power or positive vibrations or the universe or like whatever it is that they believe in, they find their inner peace in reciting mantras or manifestation or recharging their chakras with their crystals. I mean, anything that brings you that inner peace to me is prayer. I also think for a lot of people, meditation or like yoga can be a form of prayer. I think anything that brings you within yourself, that refocuses you and keeps you grounded while also like washing you over with just like a calm, positive feeling is a form of prayer. Whether you're talking to God, the universe, nature, whether you're sending out positive vibrations, whether you're talking to your inner self, I think that that's a form of prayer, and you should do that because those are the things that help you stay focused and stay feeling good moving forward in a journey when there can be a lot of hard times and a lot of, you know, dark periods, and you just need to kind of stay lifted through those. And those are the things I think that really help push you through. And like I said, having faith overall in the fact that that moment is going to come for you. So that is it. That is my list of things to do while you wait for your baby to come, because like I said before, your baby will come just in his or her own time. And in the meantime, you need to keep yourself productive, happy, mentally healthy, physically healthy, motivated, and focused. If you like this video, please leave us a thumbs up. It really helps out our channel. Also, I would love to hear from you down in the comments below. If you're trying to conceive, or you're on your infertility journey, or you're taking an alternative path to parenthood, what are some of the things that you're doing to help pass the time while you wait for your baby or child to join your family? If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more videos and content from us in the future. We would love to have you as part of the Toal Tribe family, and we will see you guys in our next video. Bye.